Okay, welcome everyone. This is the Tuttle Twins discussion class, book 2, The Miraculous Pencil. This is February 2022 class. This is week 6, and this is the Saturday 5 p.m. class. So we're going to talk about specialization, division of labor, and comparative advantage. And what are those things and how have they made our lives amazing? Not just good, but amazing. So real quick, let's just go over what we were just talking about before. Somebody thought we were getting on the subject of selling hair. What do you guys think? Selling hair, is there something wrong? Anything wrong with selling hair? What do you guys think?
No, nothing at all.
Nothing wrong.
No, nothing.
Why?
Sell your hair.
Say again?
It's fun to sell your hair.
So why do you say there's nothing wrong with selling hair? Ava, what do you think?
There's nothing wrong with selling hair because, like, if you I'm echoing. If you have if you don't really have any hair and the other person has long hair and they don't want to have long hair, they can cut it, but they also realize that that other person doesn't have any hair, so they might sell it to make them feel happier and make them actually not call themselves ugly.
Exactly.
Because they think they look ugly.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone else want to say anything about selling hair? Yeah. So remember, if you raise your hand digitally, it's a little bit easier. So I saw Eric and I saw Eric. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think one reason why selling hair, remember the word selling is added here, is good, is because you don't need hair to live. If it was like selling organs, that would be much more controversial. So you need it to live. So maybe you should just donate it for free. Except hair, that's not really a right. So I think it's totally fine selling hair, because some people have some people have no hair and maybe they want hair. So yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Rowan, I saw your hand was raised. What were you gonna say?
Because it's a way of giving.
A way of giving. All right. So Jaden, what were you gonna say?
Did you what?
Did you have your hand raised, Jaden? No.
Oh yeah. I think it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I would just never do it.
You would just never do it. Okay. Okay. So the first thing we have to establish in trade is the same thing I think I asked last week, which is or maybe the week before, is trade a win-win or a win-lose? What do you guys think? Ava, what do you think?
Trade is a win-win because you're trading something that you like, and then you would get something you liked even more, and the other person would be giving something they liked, and they would be getting something they liked even more.
Exactly.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah, Luca, what are you gonna say?
I was going to say kind of the same thing. If you get something in return, so say I sell a basketball, but then the guy gives me $10 to $20 in return. It's fair because a normal basketball, I'd say around $30. So if they pay me the normal price, then it's a win-win. So you don't lose any money, first of all. Second of all, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, good. So any trade, right? If it's voluntary, if both people come together and they agree on the terms of the trade, then every trade is a win-win, right? That's the first thing. And the second thing is, let's say, for example, your hair, anything that you have that you were born with, that's like yours, like it could be something that, your property, let's say a toy, let's say a game, let's say, your clothes, whatever, anything that's yours, you have the right to sell, right? It's your property. Things that you own, or also things on your body, like your hair, right? Or okay, so now let's talk about, this is actually a really fascinating topic. We could get into a whole nother lecture on just this, but I'll say this: selling hair, right? Everyone, all of you say it's fine. Yeah. Okay, Eric and John, you have a question?
Yeah, selling hair is fine, but I remember you once said that like anything that is yours, you should be able to sell. Except this may be a little controversial because first of all, organs are some things you need to live. So if you sell one of your kidneys to someone who doesn't have any, you shouldn't sell it. I'd say you should just donate it for free. And same with water. No one should own water. Water should be a right, in my opinion.
Okay. Oh my God, this is great. This is a fascinating discussion. I didn't even expect to get into this discussion, but this is great. Okay, so wait, who am I hearing? Who's got background noise? Okay, there you go.
I don't know.
Who's got background noise? Okay, mute yourselves, guys. If you got background noise. Okay, so you brought up a right? And you brought up, something should be given for free and not sold. Again, I will go back to the idea that if you have something in your body or something that's part of your body and it's yours, you have the right to sell it. Now, hair. Okay, what about hugs? Can you sell a hug? If somebody says, I'll pay you $5 if you hug me. See, what about, let's say, I don't know, somebody wanted to pay you for your shoes, right? Let's say you bought your shoes. Or, okay, organs. Now Eric said, it's not, you shouldn't sell your organs because, what'd you say? Because you need them, right? But the thing is, there are people in this world that are less fortunate than us, right? Have less money, have less options than us. And so maybe from their perspective, they're thinking, you know what? If I can get a lot of currency from my organ, maybe I can feed my family, right? Maybe that is even better than working for me, right? Because I live in a country where I don't have a lot of opportunities, right? So from that perspective, what do you think, Eric? Would you tell that person, you shouldn't sell your organ, you don't have a right to sell your organ, if that person says, you know what, this is my organ and I want to sell it because this is one of my best ways to make money, make currency? What would you guys say? This is a question for everybody. What do you guys think?
That seems very horrible. I still agree with my original position.
Okay. Ava, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say that it would be, if I would not honestly, I would not say that because they do have a right to sell something that's attached to their own body.
Yeah. The question is, do you own your body? That's the question.
Yes,
how much do you own your
of
body,
course,
right?
no one can control you.
Right. Luca, what are you gonna say?
I was kind of going to say the same thing, but when you think about it, if you're going to sell an organ, it has to be an organ that you don't need. Because, like, let's say your heart, you need your heart to live. You can't just, it's not even an organ.
Right.
So,
Oh, sure. That makes sense. Yeah. You wouldn't sell your heart because you want to be around to, raise and support your family, right? So, okay, Eric and John, what are you going to say?
I think I was gonna say that actually people say that people own their bodies, but it's more complicated than that because there are many ways people manipulate and control other people where basically the people are their puppets.
Okay.
And it's just a very complicated system. And if you say humans should own their body, other animals should own their body, but cows, they're manufactured for their milk in horrible ways, and it's just horrific.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You're bringing up a lot of great points. So, okay, so I just want to say this in these discussion classes, right? You guys don't necessarily have to agree with me, right? All I want is whatever you guys propose, your ideas, that you support it and you defend your position well. Right? Just like Eric is doing, right? So whatever your position is, that you think about why you think this way, and then you provide reasons and you defend it, right? So that's all I'm asking. So not necessarily that you agree with me, but of course, I'll give you my opinion as well. But yeah, I mean, we could go on. I'm sure we could spend the rest of the class on this topic, or we'll talk about specialization. I mean, I love this topic. This is a fascinating topic, by the way. What do you actually own, and can you sell? What can you sell, right? Because of course the government, the state has limits on what people can sell. It says, I'm not sure if in some countries I'm pretty sure it's illegal to sell organs in some countries. People donate their blood, right? But what if you say, I don't want to donate my blood, I want to sell my blood? Is there something wrong with that? right? What's wrong with that? If somebody says, I want to sell my blood, right? So these are interesting questions because this is a part of you. So really, what does a politician or the government have anything to do with what you do with your own body, right? So that's what I'm saying. And you know, Eric is right that there is a lot of abuse that happens, for example, in the animal industry, you know, like the meat industry. That's true. I mean, that's a kind of a separate topic. And also Eric brought up an interesting point, which is even more complex, which is if human beings have rights to their bodies, what about animals? Do animals have rights to their bodies? And if so, here's the interesting thing, right? If animals have rights to their bodies, then killing animals for whatever reason would be the same as murder, right? If we say that animals have the same rights as human beings, so why is every farmer that kills animals, kills a pig, kills a cow, whatever, why are they not charged with murder? You understand? If we assign the same rights to animals as we do to humans. So you see, this is kind of how I think about this. So let me ask you guys, I'll leave it up to you. Do you guys want to continue talking about this, or do you want to talk about specialization?
Something else.
Specialization.
All right. I mean, they're very similar though. This is all about the market, all about business, all about voluntary trade and buying and selling. It's all very similar. Okay, first of all, what is specialization? Can anyone tell me what is specialization?
Is it when you specialize in something?
Okay, so but what does that mean? So okay, when you give a definition to something, don't use the same root word, right? So the root word of specialization is specialize, right? So let's say, so try to define what is specialization without using the word specialize.
So I mean, like you're good at a certain subject or something?
Okay.
Specialization.
Okay, Luca, what do you think?
I watched one of the videos and it said specialization. So there was one where there were robots doing their thing, and there's another guy that's taste testing.
Mhm.
So he specialized in taste testing, and the robots specialize in getting the meat from the big place. So
Mhm.
that's an example of specialization, because
All right.
everyone does their own thing, like how to make a pencil.
Okay.
Everyone does one thing and they specialize in that.
Yeah.
And then they all form together in a factory. And
Yes.
everyone specializes to make it.
Yes. Excellent reference to the book, by the way. I like that. Okay. Eric and John, what were you guys gonna say?
I think specialization or a specific type, flexible specialization, is a company has multi-skilled employees, innovative executives, and multi-use equipment. It is a competitive strategy.
Okay, but in your own words, though, I'm asking in your own words. What is specialization in your own words? Berlin, what do you think? Are you still there, Berlin?
Yeah, still here.
So what is specialization in your own words?
I don't know.
No? Okay, it's okay. Okay, Eric and John, what is specialization in your own words?
I think like different people and machines like kind of specialize in different things. So they do like different things that they are good at
Yes.
to make it more efficient.
Yes. So okay, yeah, John, go ahead.
So I think it's when a company, like there's this line of workers and they all specialize. Say they make I don't know, like toys, and they all specialize in putting one part like together on the toy. So like the first worker does the base of it, and then another worker maybe like puts stuff on it, and
yeah, exactly. Now okay, yeah, so what is the advantage? So specialization is each person could be in one factory or could be like different areas or regions of the world specialize in doing something, right? Like for example, Florida. What does Florida specialize in producing? What do you guys think?
Oranges.
Oranges. Like oranges are very easily grown in Florida. What What about Georgia? What does Georgia specialize in? The country. Sorry, yeah, the state of Georgia. Anybody know? It's also a food. What does Georgia specialize in?
Peaches.
Peaches, Georgia peaches, right? What about Mexico? What does Mexico specialize in?
Spicy.
Avocado.
Spicy? Yeah, avocados, right? Avocados. All right. Now, what does, let's say, Maine and Canada specialize in? What do they
Maple
specialize?
syrup.
Maple syrup.
Also,
right?
Vermont specializes in that.
Okay, Vermont too. Yeah. So basically the North, So here's the thing is that, it's not only people in a factory that can specialize, but it's large groups of people or regions that specialize. And why would they specialize? Because do you guys think there's what's the reason? Okay, let me ask you guys. What's the reason that Florida specializes in oranges and Georgia in peaches and Mexico does avocados and then Canada does maple syrup? What's the reason?
Is it
Because
because
there's
it's
a lot of it.
because it's warmer?
It's for each. Wait.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Is it because for each place that specializes in each thing, their environment to make the things is better for the food, and also maybe it's also about culture. Maybe
Mhm.
not. I was thinking
It
culture.
could be. It could be about culture too. Luca, what are you gonna say?
I was thinking the same thing about the climate. Because
Yeah.
oranges grow in a warm climate, sometimes cold, but you never know. Avocados grow in Mexico. There's a good produce there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maple syrup. Who knows? The maple trees grow then.
Yeah.
And who knows if that's the weather or that's just how it is.
Yeah. Okay. Jaden, what do you think?
Oh, by the way, I just wanted to say that I'm visiting Florida right now. And also
Awesome.
there's a team, an NHL team, that's from Toronto, and they're called the Maple Leafs. 'cause it's
Nice.
maple.
See that? Maple. So yeah, so in this case, when we're talking about food, it's primarily a weather, right? Certain weather is preferable for growing oranges and avocados and peaches, and other types of weather is preferable for growing maple trees, right? So now, do you think that let's say Maine or Canada, could they grow oranges? How could Canada grow an orange or an orange tree? What do you guys think? What would they have to do? What do you think?
Just get warm.
Well, how would they do that?
Buy a sauna.
Okay. Ava, what are you gonna say?
I actually just forgot what I was about to say.
Okay, it's okay. All right, Eric and John, what are you guys gonna say?
Get a seed of an orange tree.
Yeah, get a seed and then do what? How would you grow an orange tree?
Make a greenhouse.
Greenhouse, yeah. So now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think it's cheaper or more expensive to build a greenhouse in Canada than it is to grow an orange tree in Florida? What do you think?
More expensive.
Obviously,
put a
grow.
Way expensive.
Yeah, definitely more expensive. So guess what? By one area specializing in a specific item for whatever reason, could be natural resources, could be the weather, could be the culture, could be the people. Because they're specializing, then we know that that's the cheapest, most efficient way to produce this, right? And when something is produced cheaply, guess what? They have a surplus and they can sell it to the world, and then the world can benefit from Florida's oranges, right? Great. So now let's go on. So division of labor is very similar. It's very similar to specialization in that, the labor is divided amongst the workers, right? So you can say this is a factory, in one factory, and each worker is doing a specific thing. And guess what? If let's say, for example, a pencil, right? If each person was going to construct the entire pencil, or would that make it faster or slower, rather as compared to if each person did just one thing? What do you think?
It would be slower.
Yeah, it would be way slower. It would be way much slower, right? So really, the division of labor and specialization is basically two people or various people with different skill sets, different abilities, and they can come together and they can improve and they can create things that are much more difficult to create if they're not working together, right? So this is what happens in the market: is people collaborate and people come together to produce amazing things, laptops, computers, cell phones, anything that you want, clothes, toys, games, shoes, anything that you need. People produce it by working together, right? This is the collaboration of the market. This is what specialization. Now you can even think about it in terms of your own household, right? In your own household, there is specialization also, right? Maybe your father mows the lawn, maybe your mother walks the dog, right? Maybe you help to clean the dishes or wash the car, right? So different people do different things, and in that way, all the tasks are not done by one person, right? And things get done much quicker that way, right? So here's another image of that, right? Does anybody here help out in the house? What do you guys do to help out in the house? What do you guys do? Ava, what do you do?
I do none of these.
What I do is
Does anybody go ahead, Ava?
okay. What I do is I help set the table only at dinner and
All
take
right.
the utensils out of the dishwasher.
Excellent. Does anyone
I do all of these except
I also make
for
up my bed.
Excellent.
clean the table.
You do all these except what, Berlin?
Clean the table.
Clean the table. Okay. Isabella, what do you do? Oh, wait. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I clean the dishes and I set the table.
Excellent. Does anyone here take out the garbage? Who takes out the garbage? Ava and Luca and Berlin. Excellent. Good. Yeah, so it's great to help out. When more people are doing all the various tasks, things get done much quicker. So here's another example of specialization. The tall guy picking the apples. Why? Because the apples are high up on the trees, right? And the short person picking the strawberries, right? So very nice. So the tall guy, if the tall guy were to pick the strawberries, guess what? You think his back would be happy? What do you think?
No.
He'd probably have a lot of back pain, right? Where the short
Would
guy,
break.
he's fine. He can do it. Yeah, Luca, you have a question?
Now I was gonna say his back would break.
Yeah, exactly. His back would break, right? So yeah, so specialization, division of labor goes back a long time, right? Back to the time of the caveman, right? This is the origin. This is the origin of the free market and of economics. It's just two people trading, and they say, you know what? I need this, and you have this, and so let's trade, right? And when trade happens, voluntary trade happens, they both benefit. Win-win. Everybody's happier, right? And prosperity results, right? So it goes all the way back, even before capitalism, even before what we know as the market economy, right? So another basic example, right? He just has the apple. He says no trade. He just has the sack of something, no trade. But with the looks like a little axe or a hatchet, with the sack of something, he's like, yes, good trade. All right, both people are happy, right? Thank you, right? What happens when you go to the store? When you go to the store and you buy something, you say thank you, and what does the person say after they get your money? What do they say?
You're welcome.
Welcome.
You're welcome, or they also say thank you, right? Thank you. They both say thank you, right? It's a win-win. It's always a win-win, right? Okay, what about this? What do you guys think of this one? What do you guys think of this one? Ava, what do you think?
I think is that he's like pointing out what they would do. There would like be different not hunters, stores around, and there wasn't just one thing in one area.
Okay. Anyone else want to comment? What do you guys think of this cartoon? What do you guys think? Anyone else? All right, let me hear from Rowan. What do you think, Rowan? What do you think of this cartoon?
I don't know.
No comments? Or Eric and John, what do you guys think of this cartoon?
I think that old man should get with the times because actually like I think it's more efficient for there to be like different people specializing in different things.
Oh yeah. He's saying back in my day, we did it all. And now everyone has to be a blank specialist. So now imagine this, right? Imagine, if you had to make your own clothes, if you had to grow your own food, if you had to wash your own clothes, no washing machine, right? If you had to cook your own food, if you had to clean the dishes all yourself, let's say you didn't have a dishwasher, let's say, right? Would that be a nice life? What do you guys think? Or would that be a difficult life? That would be an
Very
extremely difficult life.
Very.
Very
Very-
difficult.
Very difficult. So
very
the idea that we can hire people, to build our houses, to buy from people who grow the food, or sometimes you want to go out and you want to eat in a nice restaurant, or you can go buy clothes from people that make clothes. You can you don't have to make your own shoes. Like this, it elevates our standard of living immensely, right? This is a wonderful thing, right? So yeah, people making their own stuff and growing their own food, it's good if you want to try to like have skills, but if you need to depend on everything that you produce, we would all be immensely poor, definitely. All right, so now what do you guys think of this one? Right, so we have division of labor, right? Produces wealth, right? Lower prices, right? And I said when you produce something just yourself, it takes a long time to do it and it's very expensive, right? There was actually a man who tried to so if you want, let's say you want a turkey sandwich, right? And you go to the store and you buy a turkey sandwich, and what is the turkey sandwich might have? It might have like lettuce, tomato, onion, has a bun, and it has turkey, right? And then you eat that and you're like, this is delicious. Okay, now the guy said, and how much, what was that? It was probably like, I don't know, $5 maybe, right? You go to the store. But then the guy said, you know what? I wonder how much it would cost if I had to make the turkey sandwich myself. Now, what does that mean to make the turkey sandwich himself? That means he has to grow the wheat for the bun. That means he has to grind the wheat to make flour, to make the bun. That means he has to grow lettuce. That means he has to grow onions. He has to grow tomatoes. He has to raise a turkey. He's got to kill the turkey. So when he
That'd be very
calculated,
hard for me to kill my own pet turkey.
when he calculated how much money he spent to make this turkey sandwich, it was like thousands of dollars to make his own turkey sandwich. Now, do you think his turkey sandwich that he made himself tastes as good as the one he bought from the store? What do you think?
No, probably not.
It probably tasted horrible. So another example about how the market, right, gives us things that are wonderful at a cheap price, right? Here's another example. Division of labor not only happens in the market economy, it also happens in our bodies, right? Our bodies, there's many different types of cells. We got nerve cells, blood cells, muscle cells, right? Brain cells, sperm cells, bone cells, liver cells, kidney cells, right? Stomach cells,
I'm not sure
intestinal
if I have any brain cells.
cells. Right? We have cells that do all different types of things.
At least he's honest.
And he's very honest. That's great. And so they do all different types of things, and they work together to make you, right? And it's an amazing thing, right? So that's another example of division of labor. All right. And then another. So what does this mean? This is about the invisible hand. Anybody know what the invisible hand is? What do you guys think? What does that mean? The invisible hand. It's a term for the market. Anybody know what that means?
It does stuff, but it's not seen.
Yeah,
doing-
yeah. So it looks like just like the Tuttle twins and the miraculous pencil. It's like how did all these resources, the wood, the graphite, the rubber, right, the metal, the paint, how did all that come together to make a pencil? It almost seems like there was like a hand that was directing all these things to come together, but there wasn't, right? It was through the interaction of people in the market, through businesses buying and selling, through people saying we need this resource over here, right? And eventually what ends up happening is a pencil's made and then we buy it, right? And so it's almost like something is directing it, right? But nothing is really directing. That's why it's called the invisible hand. All right. So specialization.
I've decided to specialize in cats.
So specialization, right? Very unique, very powerful topic, right? So this is interesting. What do you guys think of this one? Right? Everybody wants to be an expert, right? So what do you guys think? Any comments on this cartoon? What do you think? Ava, what do you think about this cartoon?
What cartoon? I can't see it.
Question, actually.
I think I closed it out somehow.
Oh, yeah, you gotta bring it back. Everyone else can see it, right?
Oh, I think I joined back to it.
I
Yes, I
have
see it.
I
have
didn't
a
know what that
question
is.
In the
actually.
Guru district.
Okay, first of all, what's a guru? Anybody can tell
What's
me
a guru?
what's a guru?
A guru is a teacher. Like it's
Yeah.
a lot of times like in
Yeah.
religions like Buddhism.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like Eastern
Yeah,
religion.
a teacher or a wise person, right? Or a sage or a very smart person, right? Somebody you go to for advice, right? On various things. And so and so these are the gurus that are specializing in different things: media, investment, sex, diet, technology, relationships, cars, childcare, all different kinds of things, specializing in various things, right? So specialization, even in the guru economy. All right. So yeah, so division of labor all over the world, things are being made. Now let me ask you guys this. Okay, yeah, Jaden, you have a question?
No, I just wanted to know what time is it?
Oh, it's 5:38.
5:30. All right.
Okay, so let me
For
ask you
me,
guys
at
this.
3:30.
Well, oh yeah, 3:38 for Berlin. Yeah, she's 2 hours behind.
Oh wait, I Eastern time.
Yeah, Eastern time. Yeah. All right. So let me ask you guys this. So what everybody knows that there's something going on in Russia and Ukraine right now, right? And has everybody heard that that's producing shortages in different places, shortages of different items, like what, for example, what might there be a shortage of as a result of what's happening in Ukraine and Russia? What do you guys think?
Things that
I can't
Russia
hear.
Ukraine create.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Luca, what are you gonna say?
I think it's oil.
Could be
I'm
could
not-
be oil, yeah. And then as a result, what kinds of things are made from oil?
Well, first of all, wait, never mind. I just thought of something else.
Okay. Rowan, what are you gonna say?
Shortages on gas.
Gas, yeah. So okay, yeah, gas. Okay, Eric and John, what are you gonna say?
Really? Well, things that Ukraine specializes in, and also Russia, because they're kind of like cutting things like connections with Russia to like punish them like
Right.
currency wise. So
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
both Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah. Okay, Marcus, what are you gonna say?
Wheat and potatoes.
Yeah, so Ukraine, I believe, is considered the wheat. It's called the wheat basket of the world, or the bread basket of the world, right? So Ukraine, I believe, specializes in growing wheat, right? So basically, provides wheat for the entire world, right? So what does wheat produce?
Flour.
Yeah,
Bread.
flour. And what do we use? Flour, bread, pasta, any
Bread,
kind of any kind of
Cookies.
cookies, yeah, muffins. Exactly. Ava, what are you gonna say?
I accidentally raised up my hand.
Okay. Yeah, so wheat produces so many things for people, right? And so maybe we'll see a shortage of wheat, of wheat, and then by extension, bread, pasta, or maybe pancake mix or waffle mix or
Hello?
bread mix or something like that, So definitely we see shortages depending on what's happening in the world, geopolitically in terms of conflict and warfare and things like that, right? And so the other thing I wanted to bring up is okay, so we established that trade is a win-win. Now another way to say win-win is a positive sum
I
game.
can't
Anybody?
hear anything.
You can't hear. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Another way to describe trade is a positive sum game. Now, does anybody know what that term means? A positive sum game. What does that mean? What does that mean? Eric and John, what do you think?
Oh,
I think it means that like the end result or like the sum,
Mm-hmm.
like everything added up together, because sum is like the sum of something is like if you add two things together, so everything added up together in the end
Yeah.
is positive for both sides.
Ah, okay. Excellent. Very good. Anyone else want to give what they think that means? Positive sum?
oh, sorry. I didn't hear the last like minute because the reason why I couldn't hear you because I didn't realize my headphones were out.
Ah, okay. All right, so yeah, we're talking about a positive sum game. So Eric, you are exactly correct. So a positive sum is another way to say win-win, or also is basically wealth creation, right? So some people have this idea that the market or the economy is kind of like anybody ever played that game Monopoly? Who here played Monopoly?
Yeah.
Who here played Monopoly? Is he raise your hand?
Me.
Yeah. Okay. So Monopoly is not an example of a positive sum game. Monopoly is an example of a negative sum game. Now, what does that mean? A negative sum.
Bad.
Eric and John. Yeah. What do you think?
Where like everything added up, as I said earlier, that's the sum kind of
Yeah.
ends up negatively to at least one side.
Ah, excellent. Okay, Luca, what do you think? What is it?
Instead of a win-win, it's a lose-lose.
Well, a win-lose.
Well, yeah,
Win-lose.
it depends if you win the game, but
Yeah.
you
Win-lose.
usually
So
go to jail.
So
and then
basically in Monopoly, one person wins and everyone else loses, basically, right?
Well, yeah.
So it's a win-lose, right? So now, what are some examples? Forget about Monopoly. What are some examples in real life that's win-lose? Can anyone tell me? What's an example of a win-lose situation? Ava, what do you think?
Like if you have like it's actually I don't know how to explain it.
I have a good one.
All right. Eric and John, what do you think? What's an example of a win-lose?
Number one, when an other person bankrupts another, and they can do it purposefully or not purposefully. If
Mhm.
someone thinks a trade is good for them, but is actually bad for them.
Mhm.
Yeah. And yeah, like some people just for money, for the love of money, the greed, because
Okay.
they're greedy and stuff, they like don't care about other people
Mhm.
really, and
Okay.
it can cause other people to go into bankruptcy or
Okay.
die.
All right.
So-
Okay. And what
I have
about?
a good one.
Okay, Jaden, go ahead.
Maybe if you like buy something and then the other person steals it.
Steals what?
Like if you let's say you buy a car
Yeah.
and then the person who sold it just steals the car back.
Oh, so basically they just took your money and they didn't give you the car, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that would definitely be win-lose. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm looking for a very simple examples of win-lose. So, for example, if you get mugged or robbed by someone, let's say someone goes with a gun or a knife and says, "Give me your money," that's definitely a win-lose, right? The mugger, he's going to win, and you are going to lose, right? There is no voluntary trade, right? If you get beat up, that's a win-lose. And on a larger scale, war is definitely a win-lose, right? Some countries do war for various reasons, right? Either because they want to get the resources of another country or they want to subjugate the people. So that's definitely a win-lose. So war, violence, aggression, these are all examples of win-lose or negative sum games. So we can always say that war and aggression, that is an example of negative sum. But in the market, in the economy, when people trade freely, that is always an example of positive sum. When people trade voluntarily, they are increasing their wealth, they're creating wealth and increasing prosperity. Yeah, Eric and John, what do you think?
Actually, I think that wars a lot of times a lose-lose because
Yeah,
environments can be destroyed.
yeah,
Karma can happen.
yeah.
Karma.
Oh, okay.
A win-lose and a lose. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Lose.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Eric. Yeah, war is definitely, I mean, is definitely horrible. A lot of people suffer. Not only, you know what, let's go into this for a little bit. Not only do people suffer who are fighting in the war, who else suffers? What do you think? Who else suffers in the war?
People living in
Rowan, what do you think?
The citizens,
The citizen, yeah. How did the citizens suffer?
with Russia taking their country, they have to move different places.
Right. Exactly.
Staticky sound does that.
They get displaced. Yeah. Okay, Luca, what are you gonna say?
They can also suffer by getting killed. Because when Russia came in that night, they destroyed the town and they killed many people. So that's why it's not just them the army dying, it's people dying because they're invading their country. They can't just invade and blow up a building without killing anyone. That does not make any sense.
Yeah, so that would be called collateral damage. People get injured just by accident, just by there being conflict and violence. Okay, Ava, what do you think? Ava's hand's gonna fall off. I think I saw. I'm so excited.
Okay, so their houses are being destroyed, and they're also getting hurt, injured, or killed, like Luca or Rowan said. And they have to move to a different house, or they might not be able to afford another house, so they might have become homeless.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, they definitely get injured. Okay, Eric and John, what do you think?
The environment and the economy. Wars can really mess up our environment, destroy wildlife, and also the economy, because first of all, like maybe they produce the place that the spots that like produce a lot of things that people need get destroyed, and other stuff happens. So that's why I can do the economy.
And they take away more money from things like food and stuff that people need, put it into military things
and karma.
Yes, excellent points, guys. Yes, so it's not only the people that are fighting in the wars, it's not only the people that get directly injured, like the citizens and the civilians and the children that get directly injured from just people fighting and bombs and bullets and all that. That's true too, but even the economy gets injured, just as Eric and John said. So when there's no war, people are in their jobs and they're in their businesses, they're buying and selling things, and they're producing wealth, and they're increasing wealth creation, and they're increasing prosperity, right? Increasing happiness, right? But when people go to war, guess what? Those people that were in those jobs and they were doing those businesses, running those businesses, they're not there. They're all fighting. And guess what? Now those things don't get made, right? You don't get your clothes. Resources don't go to clothes, food, and shoes, and refrigerators and whatever else we need, right? Instead, they go. The government tries to direct more resources to bullets, to bombs, to helicopters, stealth bombers. All these things to hurt people and destroy things. And guess what? Does that ever end up in a good outcome? Like, does that ever help the economy? No, it doesn't, right? Some people say there are some people, and they call themselves economists, funny enough. And they say that war is actually good for the economy. You know why? Because they say all these people are being put to work, right? They say, look at all these people. We need all these people to help make the bullets and the bombs and the fighter jets and the helicopters, and the grenade launchers and all these things to kill people. We need people to make this. Therefore, they're getting jobs. Therefore, it's good for the economy. But guess what? That means that there's there's less people making things that actually make people's lives better. Instead of producing those things, they're producing things that hurt, maim, or kill people. And that does not add to wealth creation. Actually, you know what that does? That destroys wealth, right? Wealth can be destroyed by acts of war. And most often these acts of war occur by governments against other governments, right? This is This is what war is. Governments against something. Yeah, Berlin, what were you gonna say?
That's a good point. They say that the people build all stuff, but people are dying,
Yeah.
and it's not people who get the choice to go to war, it's the government forcing them to go there.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, so a lot of people are getting injured, and the people are not producing the things that make our lives better. Also, another thing, because so many resources are being diverted towards war, guess what? There's less resources to make the things that make our lives better. And guess what? What does that mean? Now the government says you need to ration. What does that mean? Does everybody know what that means? When the government says you need to ration, what does that mean? Eric and John, what does that mean?
Save your resources because you have little of them.
Yeah, like
Right. They all of a sudden they say you need to eat less. They say you need to use less water. You need to use less gasoline. Right? Why? Because all these resources are going towards war. Right? So people's lives are generally all worse off when there's war. Right? So not only do people have to ration, but then the prices of things go way up. Why? Because now there's scarcity. Things are much more scarce because so many resources are being diverted towards war. All right. Is there any other questions or comments about that? What do you guys think? Ava, what do you think?
I have a question.
Sure. What do you think?
My question is like, what is the person that is like making bricks or something?
You mean in this picture?
Yeah.
Oh, the person, yeah, I mean, this is just showing different jobs that different people are doing, right? You got, looks like the fisherman, it looks like, yeah, maybe making
Like
bricks,
why? I
making
don't.
pots, right?
Like why are they doing all this stuff?
Well, it's just showing that, the International Division of Labor, people do different things, and then that means that a lot of things are created at a cheaper price, right? So this is a wonderful thing that there's a division of labor, right? Some people are into plumbing, some people do electrician, some people are healers, acupuncturists, herbalists, some people teach chess, right? Some people teach Turtle Twins classes. Some people, teach you, how to be in the market, how to sell things. Some people coach you on your businesses. Some people do all kinds of things. Yeah.
So they're like.
Yeah, they're all doing different things. All right, so Berlin, do you have a question?
When you said prices are going up, that just gave me an idea about the water, that you can survive without food and water. Water 3 weeks. I mean, no, not water. Water is 3 days.
Yeah. The rule of three, right? So I believe it's breath. You can't survive without breathing for 3 minutes. Water for 3 days, and food for 3 weeks, something like that, right? Everybody heard that? Yeah. I think that's the rule of three. All right. So yeah, here's another.
Holding my breath for 3 minutes.
Say again.
I'm holding my breath for 3 minutes.
Yeah, give it a try. Give it a try. So yeah, so let's finish up. So yeah, basically the people who I idolize, right? The people who I call my heroes are the people who every single day are in the market, right? Having businesses, offering products, making products that people want to buy, right? And they improve other people's lives. To me, this is what a hero is. To me, a hero is not somebody that goes overseas and hurts or kills people that they never met, right? They have no problem with, right? That is not a hero to me, right? That is something different. A hero for me are people every day who risk their lives facilitating trade and making the world a better place. These are the people in business, the people that are part of the market economy, right? Because this is the voluntary trade. This is the free market, right? This is what makes people's lives better. Now, real quick, we talked about comparative advantage. Comparative advantage is the same thing we mentioned about about Florida has the advantage of growing oranges, right? And Mexico avocados, and Canada was the maple syrup, right? So same thing, Saudi Arabia or the Middle East, they have a lot of oil deposits there, right? So that's their natural resource, right? And California they have other things they can produce, like such as like what's grown in California? Anybody can tell me what's grown in California? What do you think?
Corn.
Eric and John, what do you think?
Corn, because that's what the picture shows, or maybe that's wheat. I think it's corn.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Think like what else is grown in California? There are other things that are grown in California.
I don't know these stuff. No, oranges are grown in Florida. I don't really know these stuff. But
Apples.
I think apples are grown. I think also strawberries are very commonly grown in Florida. Also almonds are very commonly grown in Florida. So these are some things that Florida specializes in, and they trade, right? California produces all these things in abundance, and they can trade a place like Saudi Arabia where they have a lot of oil, and in that way we can get oil much cheaper, right? Because the weather in Saudi Arabia is probably not good to grow strawberries. So here's another example of trade, right? Canada may produce more cars, right? Easier to produce cars as compared to Japan. Japan has very little. Here's an interesting thing. Japan is a very tiny island. Even tinier than Japan is Hong Kong, right? But Hong Kong and Japan are very wealthy countries. Why are they very wealthy countries? Can anyone tell me? They're so small. They have very little natural resources. So why are they so wealthy? What do you guys think? What do you think, Eric and John?
because they produce important things like computers and globes.
Okay, but
And-
how do they
wait,
produce it? If they have very little natural resources, how do they produce these things?
Trade.
They're smart.
They trade. Yeah, Luca, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say they were gonna trade and then they save up resources to make stuff.
Right. So the reason that they are so wealthy is because they have a policy of free trade. What is free trade? Means they don't have any restrictions, taxes or tariffs. Tariff is like a tax on importing goods from other countries. They don't have tariffs coming in from other countries. Okay, now let me ask you guys this. Okay, so let's say Eric and John are making shoes, right? And then they're selling their shoes to let's say Luca and Isabella. And then Luca and Isabella have sweaters, right? And they sell their sweaters to Eric and John, right? But then Eric and John says, you know what? I have a friend that produces sweaters. So I'm gonna impose a tax on Luca's sweaters so that it's gonna be more expensive for people to buy Luca's sweaters. And so people are gonna want to buy my friend's sweaters. So now Luca, do you think that makes Luca and Isabella happy? What do you think?
No.
No, they're not going to be happy. They're going to be angry, right? Because you increase the price of their sweaters. So what do you think Luca is going to do in response, in retaliation to that action?
Have they increased the other person's prices?
Yes, they're going to increase the prices on, let's say, Eric and John's shoes, right? So now what is that called? That's called a trade war, right? That's not a war. That's not a physical war, but it's a trade war. So it says, I'm going to increase the price of this, of whatever some other country is producing. Let's say during Donald Trump, he says, you know what, China is stealing our stuff, right? Because we're buying all this cheap stuff and China's getting rich off of our stuff. So he says we're gonna impose tariffs or taxes on China's goods, right? And so China is gonna try to sell us our goods, but now they're gonna have to the people who buy from China, they're gonna have to raise the prices because now it's more expensive due to these tariffs. So now what do you think China is gonna do in response to the American goods?
Make the American prices.
Right. So basically it's a trade war and it makes people really angry at each other, right? So there's a saying, right, by Frederick Bastiat, the French economist. He says if goods don't cross borders, then soldiers will. What does that mean? If goods don't cross borders, soldiers will. Anybody can tell me what that means?
Goods don't cross borders, will be war.
Say again, John.
Goods don't cross like
So wait, what if goods don't go to other countries with trade?
then
There will be war because then if goods don't get traded around, then the people would want the goods that the people have because they can't trade them. So the only way to do that is to destroy the country and take it over.
Okay. Anyone else want to give what do you think? If goods don't cross borders, soldiers will. What does that mean? Anyone else? So the idea is free trade. When people trade with each other, or even countries trade amongst each other, prosperity is the result. Happiness increases. There's wealth creation, right? And so, would you want to go to war with a country that you're trading? What do you think?
No.
No, definitely not. You don't want to go to war with a country you're trading because you're benefiting. You're both benefiting. But the thing is, if you impose all these tariffs and now there's less trade, now there's more anger, there's more animosity, there's more hostility, is more likely for war. So that's a trade war begins, and then it's more likely for a real war to begin, right? For soldiers and tanks and military and real violent aggression, right? So really, the solution in my mind to world peace is free trade. Open up the doors to trade. No tariffs, no restrictions. This is how Japan is so wealthy, and it's such a tiny little island, and Hong Kong is even wealthier and is an even tinier it's an even tinier island, right? The way that they have become so wealthy is through enacting policies of free trade. Very, very important, right? So if you want to increase happiness, you want to increase prosperity, that's how you do it. You trade with people, right? And I love this quote: every time you spend money, you're casting a vote for the world you want, right? So I don't really like voting in elections, but what I do like is voting with your dollars or your currency, or you vote with your feet. What does that mean, vote with your feet? Anyone know what that means? What does that mean, vote with your feet? And that, by the way, that doesn't mean go to the voting booth and then hit the lever with your foot. Doesn't mean that either. What do you guys think? Voting with your feet. Anybody ever heard of that term? Okay, so let's say you live in a place. Let's say you live in a place that's becoming really authoritarian, and the laws are getting very strict, and the taxes are getting very high. What are you going to want to do? What are you going to want to do? Yeah, Eric and John.
Maybe you mean kick people? Kick
What?
No. If you live in a place with a lot of taxes, a lot of regulations, a lot of laws, very authoritarian, very tyrannical, what would you want to do? What would you want to do? What do you think? Eric and John, what do you think? What would you want to do?
Move to a different.
Move. Yeah. Ava, what are you going to say?
I was gonna say the same thing as Eric and John.
Yeah, you would want to vote with your feet, which is move, right? People are voting with their feet even now. When people leave a place and they go to a freer place, a lot of people are now moving to Florida. Why? Because Florida is a lot more restricted, less restricted, more relaxed, right? People are voting with their feet, right? Why do businesses leave California and go to go and open their factories in Arizona or Texas or the Caribbean? Why? Because California has really high taxes, really high regulations. It is very expensive to operate businesses in California and also New York too. So or Manhattan even. So yeah. So free trade and voting with your feet. That is the way to prosperity. That is the way to world and global peace in my mind. That's how I see it, right? And so yeah. So when you look at the city, for example, all of these things, the government would like to take credit for building all these things, but it was really the market, right? That produced all of this wealth that what we call the city, right? It produced all of this wealth, and people go to the city. Why? Because there's so many opportunities. There's so many things to do. There's so many shops. There's so many restaurants, right? So many shows you can see. It's just so much to do in a metropolitan area, right? So and then to finish off, we have Kermit the Frog here, one of my favorite. so yeah. So is there any questions with what we covered today? What do you guys think? Any questions? Ava, what do you think?
The question is, what does he mean by except we need to regulate?
Does anybody know what this means? Can anybody tell me, what do you think this means? What does this mean?
I have to go.
Okay. We'll see you next week, JD.
That's what it means, Danilo. It means I have to go.
It means I have to go. All right, Eric and John, what do you think? What do you think it means?
I think it means that if someone talks to you about like he wants a free market, except we need to regulate. I think that means that regulate things, like regulate the max price of things, like regulate how much can be.
Yeah,
Like-
well, yeah, that's what that's what. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's what it means when you say we need to regulate. But why is Kermit the Frog pulling up his window when someone says we need
Because
to
he
regulate?
doesn't
Want it to be regulated.
Because he doesn't like regulation. He's saying it's a contradiction, right? What's a contradiction? It's a conflict in reasoning. It doesn't make sense. If you say you want a free market on one hand, and then you say, but we need to tax these people or we need to regulate this business on the other hand, that's a contradiction, right? That's a contradiction, right? So what we need is freedom for people to buy and sell and choose how they want to participate in the market, how you want to interact with your fellow human being, right? With other people. That's what we want. We want freedom, right? In the market, economic freedom, financial freedom, of course, and personal freedom as well. All right. Is there any questions before we go?
No.
Any questions? All right. All right. Everybody understand now the idea of specialization, division of labor, and comparative advantage. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Good. Okay. So yeah, so next week we'll talk about something different. I don't even know what it is yet, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, great talking to you guys. I will see you guys next week. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.